All right, so today we are talking about strategies for writing your best lyrics. And we will walk through some of the process together so that you can see it put in action. So I'm just going to start by sharing my screen. And I'm going to show you the process for writing lyrics. For me, I like writing um, the melodies and the lyrics simultaneously as one unit. And I enjoy doing that because I find that the most important thing for me is someone walking down the street and being able to hum a song and to have that earworm stuck in their head. For me, it's the music and the rhythm first, and the lyrics come second. Um, but sometimes lyrics can come first. There is no right or wrong way to do it. In my experience, most of my songwriting has been through writing the music first, lyrics second. I have written songs, lyrics first, song second, but anyways, let's get into it. So the first thing that you're going to do when you're writing lyrics is just to do a brain dump. Let's say you already have some melodies, you have your track already sketched out. I would do a brain dump, and here is you can write things that your song is about. So for a brain dump, let's do something on, just as an example, we would just write anything that comes to mind that you feel the song would be about. So for me right now, what I'm feeling is I had something that made me angry, really angry earlier today. So I can just talk about anger, like mad, and I'm just gonna write words, not only words, but also phrases. And it's important to do phrases because those can end up in your songs more than just a word. So let's do a few of this together, a few things together. And if you have comments, put them in. Michelle is here live. Haley is also here live. Great. I'm looking down. I have it here. Okay, so anger, mad, and this could also be angry, and you could write things like, I'm so angry. So today we're doing something on anger, but that's what it is. Angry, like you could do like red heat. Something that I visualized with my anger was fire. So like the heat fuels the fire, or the fire fuels the heat. Um, and you can just say, okay, what else do you see visually? I see like pistons from a car. Like, well, I think a piston is inside, but if you could see those cartoon illustrations of fire coming from the back of a car and propelling it forward. So propelling this car forward. And you can use expressions like we are on the move. And so if you want to get a structure for this, I find this is a great easy document called Speed Songwriting that puts these ideas together in one area. You don't have to use this document, but it does lay it out for you in certain ways. But I don't necessarily go by this process with writing the title first. For me, the title always comes last once I've written the song. And they talk about different song plots, things like that. We'll get into that later. But the idea, this is what I want to touch upon. Content, nouns, people, places, and things, and senses. So all the five senses and the kinesthetic, how does something touch? If you're touching it, or how does something feel? I feel angry. It feels hot. Thoughts, collective, we think this, identity, I, a belief, this is the way, capabilities, we're able to do this. Behaviors and environment, honestly, I don't understand that fully with this document. I just write this way. So we're on the move, and something I wanted to channel the anger. So to like, I've got to learn my lesson. Like what is there to gain from this? And then you could write common idiomatic expressions. No pain, no gain. It doesn't mean you're going to use them in your songs, but you just want to get these ideas out on paper so that you have a springboard to visually map from one idea to others. And you can keep that going. So this is the example. You have a bunch of them here. Another thing that you can do is go to, I pulled up a bunch of songwriting sites that can be useful. My favorite one first that I always go to is rhymezone.com. So let's pick one of these words here. I would do, let's do red hot heat. I'll do heat. So here's the process in a nutshell first, and then we're going to walk through it. One is do a brain dump. Two is like find, once you do a brain dump of your original things, of your original ideas, then you can find associated, or I would just say synonyms, metaphors, and I don't know, and idiomatic expressions. And then from there you could find rhymes, and then like you can, I'm taking a break because I'm thinking in my head, it's like you could then also, once you do that, find rhyme pairs. But once you find, to me, rhyme pairs, they kind of come back and forth between steps 4 and 5, where it's like you find rhymes, but then I also start writing ideas in a structure. And then I tweak my rhyme pairs based on the structure. So and then I would also isolate bumper sticker hooks. By isolate, I would pull out the strongest ideas that have a lot of visual imagery or that are very powerful and singular. Isolate bumper sticker hooks. And then maybe you could also, I also think about non-lyrical hooks, but I put this in my lyric writing stage, kind of folds in there. If it's an instrumental hook, that idea could come through the melody stage, but if it's a non-lyrical hook, these ideas are going to come from the lyrical ideas that you've drafted, because they're going to have to be based after some of the words. Like if you're talking about anger, some of your non-lyrical hooks might be about like no. So it'd be like no, 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 right? So that's why that would come later. And then from there, I would, I don't know, I'd like refine and edit. All right, so let's go through some of these resources together. Again, if you're catching this live, write #live, and if you're catching the replay, #replay. Cool. So let's use some of these ideas here, and we're going to go through this process. So red hot heat. First, I like hot and I like heat. So, well, let's start with heat. Well, I already did here. Apparently. I'm going to go through and find the best words that I like. Okay, that would fit well in like a pop song. So beat. We could use cheat if it's talking about anger. And then you could also use, for your lyrics, you don't have to use perfect rhymes. So then I'll go, oh, then I'm going to go here. I'm going to put like heat, beat, cheat, and then I could do like cheated, because you could say, it's like red hot heat, I feel cheated. And then in the non-strong, the weak syllable, you can digress on your volume. And lyrics definitely do not have to rhyme, but if you can make them rhyme in a way that's not cheesy and not like very predictable, that does make it exciting. Heartbeat. And if you guys have ideas from what you see here, drop them in the comments. Heartbeat. Sometimes looking at here, it kind of gets in the way because I'm just like trying to, I'll put heartbeat up here. So I would go, what I like to do is I go in my mind alphabetically. Nothing with A. Beat, seat, cheat, deet, discreet, eat, oh my gosh, eat, feet, geet, heat, jeet, keet, leet, meat, it's boring. Pete, like P-E-A-T, Petewood or Peter, Q, nothing. R, reet, sweet, sweet, treat, teach, QRSTU, V, wheat, W, wheat, like I'm not going to use that in the song, wheat, X, Y, heat, disease, nothing. Okay, so as you go through one, then you can maybe go through a few other words, words that you find that you'd want to say, like also putting creating a metaphor, like a vision for this song. For me, I see this thing about the car and anger that comes to mind is like the fuel. So use imagery. So you could talk about like rocket fuel or car. To me, car fuel is something that I'm in touch with all the time. So you could talk about like, then brainstorm some ideas about the car. So about the car, you could be in the, driver's seat. That's actually, that could work. Car. So you could be like, yeah, driver's seat. What else? Like passenger seat. Like then you could talk about I'm in drive. So like getting out of park. Like if you're in park and it's like it's time to drive. You could say stuff like that in your songs. So you get the idea. Then the next thing that you can do is go to Urban Dictionary. This is a great resource, and just look things up here. So see what comes up when you put in heat. And intense. And you get like this drive by. You get ideas, and this is a great way to brainstorm. What's up, Maggie? And then packing heat. You could use slang like that in your song. Other resources that you can use. This is thesaurus.com. So this is a great way for, let's do anger. And then, so the other thing I want to think about is keep it so simple a 6-year-old could sing it. So you wouldn't use words like acrimony or indignation. This is less of an academic approach to writing something, or chagrin, and do something that's a little bit more conversational. Like you could use word like temper, like your temper. Like that's kind of fun because it has a rhythm to it. I definitely go through the sources. And then you just brainstorm and write things down. And then, another thing, anger, trigger. That's a great word, actually, to use in a song about anger. All right, so look at, oh, the spark. That's a good word because there's a lot of visual imagery that goes with the fuel and the fire. Other things, this is a book that you can check this out, The Emotion Thesaurus on Amazon. There's another rhyming dictionary here called Rhyme Genie. This one was recommended to me through a copywriting program online, but I don't use this one that much. But maybe I should, because look at these reviews from all these like award-winning musicians. I don't know if it's paid, but I pulled it up for you. Then there's also the online slang dictionary. Okay, so let's look at trigger. There are no terms for trigger in the slang. Huh. Angry. Angry, annoyed, offended, angry, go crazy, freak out. Freak out would kind of be fun for a song. That could be part of a bumper sticker hook. And for bumper sticker hooks, we want to write something that you could slap onto a bumper sticker of a car and you see it and immediately it triggers the song or that one part that you hear over and over in your head. Freak out, in terms of a bumper sticker hook, reminds me of Wipeout, that surf rock song that was so big years and years ago. How it's just so simple. Okay, so that's an example. One look. So here you could find these are, okay, to make something happen. To put into motion. And you could do something like in your, just add to your brainstorm, like we're in motion. One of the things that it's really important to think about when you're writing your lyrics is to write generally in first and second person. Third person lyrics are not as strong. It's so much more powerful if it's I or you, because the listener can identify. So the idea from this site was to put into motion, but how can you change that to fit it for your lyrics? We are in motion. Master Writer is a songwriting tool that you can use. So Lyricist is another tool that you can use. This is an online computer tool. So idiomatic expressions are very useful. You don't have to use some of these in your, you don't have to use these in your songs. For example, no pain, no gain can be cheesy, but sometimes you can find really like an itchy, trigger finger, an inclination or readiness to shoot a gun. Quick on the draw. So quick on the trigger warning, trigger happy. Like these are great things that you can use in your songs. Cool. Michelle says deplete. Oh, for a word for the rhyme. Yes. Putting that in. And anger reminds me of being in overdrive. Yes. Let's look what happens when we find overdrive here. Well, I like these, so I don't want to cancel that yet. Let's look at overdrive, see what comes up. The freedictionary.com is a really good resource to go into overdrive, in multiple copywriting books that I've been reading, just for like writing, and then also it applies to songwriting. A lot of them mention the free dictionary because there's the dictionary thesaurus, lots of examples, so you can pull ideas from the examples. Mexican Overdrive. That could be offensive, but okay. It's like a trigger. Trigger happy, quick on the draw. I like itchy trigger finger. Um, a lot. Itchy trigger finger. It's itchy trigger finger. It's a little bit hard to say, but it's also really fun to say, and it'd be really fun in a song. Pull the trigger, like that's interesting, but it is used a lot. Quick on the draw. Quick on the draw reminds me of cowboys. So it's not like as appropriate. I like itchy. To me, itchy trigger finger is really fun because of this. I think it's also the word itch. Like you have your trigger finger, yeah, but it's like the itchiness. Like you got that. You're like, or you could use that word itchy somewhere else in the song. And so this is why it's good to brainstorm these ideas first, and then you can take these ideas and put them into non-lyrical hooks. For example, itchy, if you were to put part of a bumper sticker hook, itchy trigger finger is a great bumper sticker hook. I love it. So if you want to do a non-lyrical hook with that, you could do it like as an itchy. I really like this one so much. So now let's review it, because if it's about readiness to shoot a gun, it's like not promoting gun violence, but let's read it. An inclination or readiness to shoot a gun, especially at someone, without needing much or any provocation or justification. So an itchy trigger finger would happen, like this situation would be used when there's been a lot of tension building underneath the surface. I wouldn't stay too long around here. There are a lot of people with itchy trigger fingers in this part of town. By extension, inclination, readiness, or tendency to act or react carelessly, rashly, or without due consideration. John's itchy trigger finger is going to get him into trouble with his boss someday. When you're working in a restaurant, it's important not to have an itchy trigger finger when customers come to you with complaints. Okay, so for me, when I got really angry earlier today, I didn't act on it, but I was fucking mad. And it's like, so how could we say, like, if this is going to be in a song and I wanted to capture the heat of that moment, the heat of the moment, that's another. I'm going to put this at the top. Again, if you're catching this live, write #live in the comments. And if you're catching the replay, do #replay. But I see more of you are on here, and I can't see who you are. I just see a number. So I'd love to know if you're here live. So I love the heat of the moment, the itchy trigger finger. And so it's, and also how to say this properly, be like, you make me feel like I want to pull my itchy trigger finger. But of course, no one can make you feel anything. Like the person I was mad at can't make me feel this. Like I want to do, like, I'm never going to shoot a gun, but like to react carelessly. But it's me who has that control. So I want to think about my truth in expressing myself from my lyrics and my message. So we also have to think about, like, what is our overall message as an artist? Okay, so my message as an artist, a lot of it is about spirituality and like stepping into your higher self. Well, my higher self doesn't just react carelessly. It faces. So it's almost like the itchy trigger finger. So now we're going to brainstorm ideas. And if you have ideas that you want to go, like, suggest for this, let's think about it together, but drop them in the comments. The itchy trigger finger. Right now I'm thinking like you scratch my itchy trigger finger, but that doesn't really work. Heat of the moment. I've got an itchy trigger finger. Well, I don't normally. Like you ignited my itchy trigger. This is that non-lyrical hook. The heat of the moment. The itchy trigger. Let's keep going, because the other thing is that when we're writing lyrics, we don't want to stay stuck on one idea for too long. So keep it moving. Okay, we're going to think about itchy trigger finger as we're looking to other areas. Oh, here's a book that you can look at, The 4 Seasons of Creative Writing, Prompts to Stop Writer's Block. Okay, words that almost rhyme. Sometimes maybe we'll find our answer for the itchy trigger finger by going into almost rhymes. So find a rhyme. Finger. Thinker. Stinker. Sprinkler. Sinker. Flinders. Sphincter. Hinder. Cinder. Malinger. Linger. Shrimper. Simper. Sinter. Spinster. Splinter. I really like splinter because you would have a splinter in your finger. But how do we tie this back together with the idea of like the draw? Drinker, clinker, blinker, Ginsberg, forefinger, butterfingers, winker, tinker. Okay, timber, tinder, windward, midwinter. I'm just going to, a lot of these, you can see them on the screen, but the sinner, I'm just going to maybe speak the ones that are most appropriate. Pincer, like a crab and its pincers, ringer, like a towel, like you're gonna wring it, or like the phone ringing. Let's see. Okay, that's enough. Itchy trigger finger. Let's look at finger rhymes with finger here and see what we come with. Not much. Figure. So also, this would be an example when you might not use something that is an exact rhyme, but something similar. Itchy trigger finger, then is something bigger. Bigger could be a word that we could use as part of a phrase. Stinger. Stinger, like you put it where it hurts. This is a book by Pat Pattison. He was and is a songwriting teacher at Berkeley, writing better lyrics. That's a video I made on YouTube about writing better lyrics. So let's go to here, Urban Dictionary again. Let's go to trigger finger. Let's see if anything comes up. The act of shooting fast a semi-automatic gun. One's preferred finger for masturbating. Suck my trigger finger. Oh my god. Oh my god. So yeah, you know, I mean, you don't have to be so PC, politically correct. Like, just do whatever you fucking want to write. Pull my itchy trigger finger. That's another thing that you could say. pull my trigger finger. Like you pull my finger, you know that saying. Okay, so these are examples of how you can get started. Now, another thing, what I would do after you start getting a few ideas from here, let's move this out away from the other ideas. Notice how here we have like, we have a few phrases, and then down here we have just singular words. We'll put down here non-lyrical hook ideas. Now, you don't have to write with a computer. Oftentimes it's really fun to write pen and paper. It's very relaxing, but that's just something that you can do. Another example of sometimes people talk about what they do for writing is to look up images on Google or Amazon. So here, if you say trigger finger, you could maybe get prompts for ideas for songwriting, like trigger finger is when your finger or thumb gets stuck in a bent position. So that says there. So is he like stuck in a bent position? Okay, so we're not seeing any guns or anything here. We're seeing like just pictures of hands. So you could talk about hands. Hands on the wheel. No hands on the wheel. So that would be something like driving dangerously because you make me want to pull my trigger finger, something like that. All right, so another thing, once you have these ideas, then I like to start to put it depends on what your melody is doing, but this kind of stuff doesn't really work for me, but I tell you what does. I didn't learn this from speed songwriting, but having this example does have a nice visual structure that you can use. So here we have rhyme schemes and patterns. This is some way that you can get started now, but if you listen to a lot of artists that you like, the artists that I like don't necessarily follow these patterns sometimes, but it is a way that you can start. So some things I notice are, and come across often, are these 4-line stanzas for a verse. So you would either you would have any of these. Let me make it bigger. X would mean that there's no rhyme. So it'd be like a line that doesn't rhyme with anything, then a line, the second line would rhyme with the fourth. So those are ideas. The common ones that I see would be ABAB or AABB. Yeah. So what you can do is once you have your ideas, maybe go to the top, put your ideas at the top above the brainstorm if you're doing it on a document, because this is going to be the area that you're going to tweak as you're writing. And if you have to go down to the bottom of your document every time, it's just annoying. So let's say you have your verse. Let's say we have A, B, A, B. Now, you could have the same thing here. All of this, and then let's say you have a pre-chorus after this, or also known as, you could be a build if it's more dance music. If you have something like this here would not be verse 1, and this would be verse 2. This is all verse 1. When you're referring and you're in a collaboration with somebody else, all of this is verse 1. Verse 1, part 1, part 2. Or, yeah, so you could have like there and there, or you could have a 6-part, or you could have like a 5th line that is kind of like a tag. That might be the same. So you could write tag, or you could write C. And that C, those two could match or be the same as the one above. Something that could be useful would be a tag where it's the same line for both. So the A from verse 1, from the first part of verse 1, does not have to be the same rhyme scheme as the A in the second part. Like this one could end in the word heat. And then here, Michelle, I want to use that word deplete. However, I don't feel like it would fit for the end of a word, end of a phrase. Right now, freak caught my mind. Let's use that. And the purpose of why we're going to use this now here is heat, freak. It's not an exact rhyme. So just want to illustrate that you don't have to do something that is an exact rhyme. It can be a near rhyme, right? So the point of this is, let's say you have some line up there and it ends with heat. You have another line here. I'm just going to write off the top of my head. Like, I feel this red hot heat. Okay. Oh my God, I can't even write feel. I'm used to writing EA for heat and freak. All right, so I feel this red hot heat. This can all be edited later. We just want to get something on paper, because when I was writing that, I was thinking, should it be you feel this hot heat, or I feel this, but whatever. We can adjust it later. I feel this red hot heat, something, something, something. I want to write, you're such a control freak. You're such a control freak. Now, the word, when we're editing our lyrics, we can eliminate filler words like such if it's not necessary. So when we get these ideas drafted, then what we're going to do is go back and look at the amount of syllables in a line, so that when we have our melodies, we'll fit the melodies to those syllables. And like syllables in lines A will have either the exact same number of syllables or similar. Okay, so I feel this red hot heat. Something like it's blazing. Yeah, I'm writing without any agenda. Okay, so it's blazing. It's blazing like a fire. So you see how there's like a simile there. There's like a simile, or there is a simile there. It's blazing like a fire. So something that would rhyme with a fire for B would be fire. So I'd go through the alphabet in my mind, or go to rhyme zone. So fire. Okay, anything with C? No. D, desire. E, fire. G, gyre, higher. Something, I could use something higher. Gyre, kire, liar. Ooh, liar I think would be even stronger. Mire, nire, pyre, tire, sire, rire, wire. Liar. Let's use liar. You're such a control freak. Something, such a control freak. And something like, and a dirty little liar. Okay. Just making this up. Okay. A tag here would be, it's not necessary, but you could say something like, something would be fun, would be like, like a non-lyrical hook. Trigger. Now it depends. It depends on the space in the song. Musically, if there's space to add a tag where it doesn't get in the way. All right, so now the next part of this verse, we don't have to follow the same exact rhyme sounds at part one as part two. So for example, this A doesn't have to rhyme with heat or freak. So we could do something like, feels red hot, he is blazing on fire, such a control freak and a dirty little liar. It's burning up inside. Now I can go to, I don't have anything that I necessarily want to say for the B there, but so I'm going to go to the next A and find something that rhymes with I'd, and then find a filler line to go in between, burning up inside. So bide, chide, died, fried, bona fide, guide. So let me just write a bunch of them here. Fried, hide, lied. Not going to use lied because we already used liar. Mied, nied, pied, pride, pride. The pride this way is like if you pry into something, the past tense, and this is like your own pride. Got hide, tried, decide, side, yide, wide. There's more. Try. Wait, why did I even write tried like that? Tried. It's been a long day, and I've been angry. Okay, so it's burning up inside. I want to do something that's like laughing in someone's face, like you're so angry, you're just like, fuck this, you know, or like, let me get in the car and just drive away and like cool out. It's burning up inside. Maybe something, well, actually, something came to mind right now is side, like we're taking sides, but if we have side, this side, we already have side inside, so it's like not the best. Burning up inside. If you have any ideas, drop them in the comments. So let's come back to it because I'm not going to stay on something too long. It's burning up inside. And then actually, this would be a cool place to use a metaphor or a simile, like what burns up inside. I think of a core heat of the earth, or like the core of a volcano. What burns up, like an iron. It's burning up inside. And then if we can tie it to the idea of the car or the itchy trigger finger some way, that could be really cool. Right now what's coming to me is it's burning up inside. I feel the heat of the moment. You're not going to get your pride. Something like, I really tried. And that's maybe why the anger comes from, like, so badly I tried. Or this like calmness died. Or again, if you have ideas, drop them in the chat. I feel okay, so not going to get stuck, or going to keep going. Oh, that'd be a cool place to look up idioms. Color inside the lines. Okay. Color inside the line. So this song is about like the trigger. There's a control freak and you just want it to be inside, color inside the lines. By the way, I saw that right here in the top right corner. So something about like, I'll just write the idea down first. Play like outside of the lines or inside the lines. Something about boundaries. For me, it was a situation that just something was very unnecessarily controlling and unreasonable. So if I would want to say, like, it's burning up inside, something wasn't what it seemed to be, like inside track, no inside out. Nothing is so good for the inside of a man as the outside of a horse. Well, I guess that's for horse lovers. Picture the inside, think inside the body, inside and out. Yeah, so that could also trigger ideas like it's burning up inside, and then you think something like think outside of the box or color outside of the lines. Or drive outside the lines if you're driving on a road, if we want to connect this to the imagery of driving, or something with a trigger finger. What is something that is rhymes with "eyed" with a trigger finger? Inscribe. That's too fancy for a conversational song. Inscribe. Inquire. Looking here now at the references in classic literature, except the thing is that that could give you some ideas, but it's burning up inside, the heat of the moment. And instead of I feel the heat of the moment, I'm just gonna kind of edit things as I go, because I don't, when I'm writing lyrics, I don't do like step by step. The steps are there, but they're kind of outside of the lines. It's burning up inside. I might say this heat of the moment. It's blazing like a fire, this heat of the moment. Feel the heat of the moment. It's blazing like a fire. Feel the heat of the moment. Actually, feel the heat of the moment matches the same syllables as it's blazing like a fire. It's burning up inside. Feel the heat of the moment. Is it it's burning up inside, or I think I'm burning up inside is stronger instead of just it. Okay, something is burning up inside. I'm burning up inside. That's more powerful. I'm burning up inside. I feel the heat of the moment. We don't say I feel the heat of the moment, but it's kind of understood. There's something then it died. Say outside of the lines. I think something died is actually a lot stronger than outside of the lines. So something died. What died? Like our relationship, our understanding. The hope died. It was kind of like the hope. The hope. I don't know yet, so I'm just going to put something down. The hope I had died. That's not what I want it to be ultimately, but we're going to keep going, and that answer is going to solve itself later. I'm burning up inside, feel heat of the moment. The hope I had died. So now, if we're following this ABAB rhyme structure, the fourth line is going to moment. Let's go to rhyme zone. Bestowment, commit, lament. Nothing good. Growing. So if you wanted to do something with moment, you could do something with a like a similar rhyme, but not an exact rhyme. Smoking. smoking because I'm picturing like fanning the fire, like the smoke is going. Or moment, smoke. So the other thing is that like if you use this, feel the heat of the moment. The weak syllable of moment can fall away and it will be heard, but you could rhyme it with something like smoke, where it's not exact. Moment, smoke. It's close enough that it would work. And smoke is better than smoking, in my mind, because having an ing, that gerund, fall at the end of a phrase, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it, but the hope I had died. Something like it's flaming up in smoke. Well, smoke doesn't flame. It's like bellowing up. It's rising up. It's how does smoke move? It's piling up. It's blowing up in smoke. Okay, and then you could do the same tag again if you wanted. Triggered. Okay, so I am not going to delete these words. I'm going to cut them and I'm going to just paste them down in my brain dump down here. And we don't have to be so perfect like getting each one like this. I mean, you can, but so this is how you would build that. Now, what I really like the idea of the trigger finger. So maybe I would put that as my chorus, or if this is a dance track, it would be the drop, and itchy trigger finger. I would repeat a line here. Itchy trigger finger, my itchy. Something like, to me, I feel like I want this to be very like taunting. I'm really angry. Like taunting, like, don't make me with my itchy trigger finger. I really like it, actually. Something like, don't make me with my itchy trigger finger. And then you could even like, don't make me with my, and this is be a really fun thing that you could do as a hook. Maybe you could do something like, don't make me bam with my itchy trigger finger. Don't make me bam with my and the other really important thing is that for hooks, it's really good to repeat them, because don't make me bam with my itchy trigger finger. Don't make me bam with my, it like just gets stuck in your head, right? So don't make me pop with my itchy. You could do bang, bam. So right now I'm picturing all of these comic strips when they're like pow, bam, pop, wop, wham, kablamo, all of that stuff. So you could look up comic book, bam, and see what comes up. Bam, pow, clicking on this image, what are the words? Zap, boom, bomb, bang. None of those are as good as crack, splat, no. I like bam or pop. Don't make me pop. Don't make me pop it with my itchy trigger. Oh, don't make me bam. Or you could do don't make me pop it with my itchy trigger finger. Oh, you could do don't make me pop it with my itchy trigger finger. Don't make me drop it with my, then you could rhyme drop and pop. And this could be a bumper sticker hook. It's a little long for a bumper sticker hook, maybe, because when I think of bumper sticker hooks, I think of like We Are the Champions, or that's a little smaller, or maybe because the Britney Spears documentary is happening now, like the Oops, I Did It Again, that would be a Britney Spears one. But don't make me pop it with my itchy trigger finger. Don't make me drop it with my itchy trigger finger. And then you could round it out the end of the phrase with something else. Now, for time reasons, we are going to have to end soon. Maybe if I wanted to do a pre-chorus, a build, or a post-chorus, maybe this tag here, if I don't have a tag there, maybe I do a pre-chorus or build with this tag. And then in my post-chorus, I'm currently on a kick of doing a lot of vocal sampling of my own vocals and doing melodic hooks, like instrumental hooks, but using the voice as an instrument sampled. So maybe what we could do, if you wanted to do a post-chorus hook here with something like that's sonically playful, you could do some kind of sibilant sound when you're recording. A sibilant is like a T or a B or a K, like you could do something like that and do sounds like that for your post-chorus hook. I think that would be pretty fresh and like modern sounding. So sampled vox vocals with like sibilant consonants, something like that. That's, if I were writing a dance track or a pop song like this right now, this is something that I would do. Maybe I am going to do this. But if you have any questions, let me know. Drop them in the comments. Okay, so what you would do after this, though, copy, paste. And if it makes it easier for you to look at things, you can color code them. I don't feel like this chorus is done. This hook. Don't make me pop it with my itchy trigger finger. Don't make me drop it with my itchy trigger finger. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. I think something just fairly simple would be best. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Something like that. Don't make me pop it with my, so it like it has a sense of completion to it, but it's really simple and memorable, because you want something that someone's going to listen to and sing along with. If you're going for something that you want people to sing along with, I mean, you could also write songs that are more like art pieces that don't have as much of a hook. But if you're looking for a hook, you would do something kind of like this. Don't make me pop it with my itchy trigger finger. Don't make me drop it with my itchy trigger finger. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't make me pop it with my itchy trigger finger. I want to use this. Now, notice we didn't do anything with the car yet. So maybe in verse 2, you would put something about the car if you wanted to. Another thing that does help make lyrics sound pretty modern is to use a lot of imagery of something that you would see, like, I don't know, you call me on the phone, stuff like that you could use. All right, so those are some initial ideas to get started with writing your lyrics. So here we would be at the stage here 9 with refine. All right, so I hope this was helpful. And again, if you have questions, let me know. I'd love to know what you got out of this the best, and drop any of your questions or comments in the chat. I'm going to stop my share but I'm going to check the chat. Okay, I see this now. Okay, sorry, Cassie Garb. Hey, I can hear Brittany singing those lyrics. Yes. I hope there's a replay. I had to jump on late. It's hard to see my phone. Yes, the replay's here. Michelle said, it could be like you lose yourself in your anger and get an itchy trigger finger, but you're brought back to reality. Something like the pain of a splinter brings you back to your senses, not to react on your anger. Yes, I apologize for reading these comments now just because I was sharing my screen and I just wanted to look at the document. And on my phone here where I'm checking, I don't see all of the comments in real time. But then when I go to my browser here, I see them. So these are great suggestions. Gia, hey, Mary, hi. Cool. Brittany singing those lyrics. Itchy trigger finger. Yeah. So Michelle, with your idea of the pain of the splinter bringing back to your senses, that would be a really good place to bring that in for a bridge. Or if you're writing a dance track, you won't have a bridge so much, but you could have the departure. So all songs have some sort of departure to bring back in that drop, or the chorus, or the hook. So departure, another word for departure is breakdown. So you could also make it really simple, like the splinter brings me back. The splinter brings me back. I don't know, different ideas to play with. So that's it for today. I want to make a song out of this. Maybe it'll be on an upcoming release. Sometimes anger really serves us well for songs, and we always learn a lesson rather than hiding, like soothing it over and someone saying like, it's okay, don't be angry, or like, come have a drink, or like, go sleep. It's like, no, go feel your feelings. Michelle says, do it, feel the song. Well, you know what? Okay, so for me, I have a bunch of singles coming out. Some of them don't yet have lyrics. And so maybe this will be there. That would actually be fun. You get to see the inside process of it. Cool. So I'm so glad that you were here, and thank you for joining this session. And I'd love to see your top takeaways, what you got out of this. Drop them in the comments and DM me, and let me know. Let me know.